Mutants, also known as Homo superior, are an offshoot of humans possessing the mutant X gene, which activates during puberty, giving those who possess the gene latent powers. There are many mutants possessing different powers, like regeneration, telepathy, energy manipulation and even reality manipulation. In this video, we shall see about the mutants possessing the ability to replicate the powers of others, power mimicry in short, their origins and powers. So, without wasting any time, let's dive into the video. Megan. Megan is Romanical, and was born in their camp near Finborough Station. As a young child, Megan was thought to be a wolf girl. However, thanks to her mutant shape-changing power, she had simply grown fur because she was cold. Megan is a shapeshifter who can assume the form of any living creature, even those who only exist in legends. Megan can assume the form of other people as well. Thanks to her empathic ability, Megan's body will actually change in response to the emotions around her, becoming beautiful when she feels loved, or hideous when she feels fear or anger. Her elemental powers also cause Megan to change in response to her surroundings, such as growing fur in extreme cold, or gills when she is submerged underwater. She has also demonstrated the abilities to turn into sentient sand or water. She could also replicate the powers of a superhuman when she transforms into them, like when she transformed herself into a female version of the Silver Surfer. Rogue. Anna Marie, also known as Rogue, has the uncontrollable ability of absorbing the energy of others through physical contact, temporarily incorporating their abilities, powers, memories and even personality with a touch, a process which wears her victims out. A runaway, Rogue was found and adopted by mutant terrorists Mystique and Destiny. She had her abilities traumatically activated when she shared her first kiss with a boy and put him into a coma. When she was serving in the Brotherhood of Mutants, she absorbed Captain Marvel's powers, along with her psyche, which made a long-lasting change in her, leading her to seek help from Charles Xavier of the X-Men. As a member of the X-Men, she proved her might and loyalty, becoming one of its notable members. Gideon. Gideon is a member of a rare subspecies of immortal mutant called Externals, to which he represents opportunity in Tapestry of the Infinite. Gideon possessed the ability of superhuman enhancement assimilation, the power to temporarily endow himself with the superpowers of any beings in his proximity, whether they are a superhuman, android, or mechanical battlesuit. He scans and replicates his target's energy signatures and genetic templates, granting him a full understanding of the potential applications of the powers he acquires and enabling him to overwhelm an opponent with a superior mastery of their own powers. While he assumed the powers of others, he doesn't take on any aspect of their appearance. Gideon has also shown not only to mimic the advanced skills, talents and powers of a subject but that of 3 subjects at once so far. Omega. Michael Pointer, also known as Omega, was a mutant who used to work as a postman and didn't know he was a mutant. On M-Day, Michael absorbed the Gestalt being that emerged from the energy mass created by the released energy following the Scarlet Witch's depowering of most of the mutant population. The energy mass arrived on Earth at the town of North Pole, Alaska, destroying the town and its inhabitants, including Michael's parents, brother and girlfriend Lindsay, while taking over his body. Michael Pointer is a mutant with the ability to absorb and store the energy of other mutants. As the collective, he contained the inherent power of almost every mutant on the planet. With enough power, Michael can access the powers of hundreds of depowered mutants. Mimic. Calvin Rankin, also known as the Mimic, first gained his mimicking abilities after a lab accident involving one of his father's dangerous experiments. He was a villain-turned-hero-turned-villain who joined the X-Men, and for a short time was the deputy leader of the team. Calvin's main quest had always been to find a way to make his abilities permanent. After retaining his powers after M-Day, he was held prisoner by the Thunderbolts for his past crimes until he was offered a place on Norman Osborn's X-Men. Mimic is able to copy the knowledge, skills, and powers of every individual within a certain range of him. Different sources list this as anywhere from several feet to a mile radius. This applies to both superhumanoid and normal abilities. He has shown the capacity to manifest numerous normal abilities and superhumanoid powers at the same time, and since he also absorbs knowledge, he can immediately use copied powers with the same skill level as the original owner. However, he occasionally shows difficulty in juggling multiple powers, and his body can be overloaded by absorbing too many at once. Usually Mimic loses his duplicated abilities once out of range of the owner, but theoretically due to the length of time spent with them, his body will permanently retain the powers he mimics. Mimic can copy powers on a genetic level, seeing as he donated his wings to a time-displaced angel, and were a perfect match. Sync. Everett Thomas was a mutant born in St. Louis, Missouri. He possessed an aura which allowed him to sync up with other superhumans in his immediate vicinity, thereby briefly gaining any powers they possessed. Sync possesses an aura that allows him to be in sync with other superhumans in his immediate vicinity, thereby gaining any powers they possess. The powers Everett syncs will fade if the superhuman he is in sync with leaves the vicinity. More recently, Sync no longer needs a full person present to copy their powers. Tissue samples from superhumans are enough for him to copy their powers. When Sync uses his powers, a multicolored aura appears around his body. The aura is caused by the energies he is absorbing splitting the ambient light around him, which causes the described effect. However, constant usage of his powers costs Sync his lifetime, making him age rapidly. Hope Summers. Hope was the first mutant born after M-Day. She had no real father, as her mother Louise Spaulding was impregnated through the Phoenix. Believed to be the salvation of mutantkind, the mutant messiah, she was raised and trained by her adoptive father Cable in the far future, until she was ready to return to the present day. Shortly after her own powers manifested, Hope activated 5 new mutants, and later on, as White Phoenix, she reversed the effects of M-Day, allowing new mutants to be born once again. Hope's primary power allows her to copy the powers of any nearby mutant. Unlike other mutants with similar abilities, such as Rogue, Hope does not need to make physical contact and the person whose powers are copied suffers no ill effects. Hope seems to be subconsciously aware of any powers she copies and is able to utilize it immediately, without any need to learn how to use them or even to see them in action first. The powers she copies are at their full capacity and she has full control over them. Hope does not have any known limit on how many powers she can copy at the same time, but wielding multiple powers simultaneously is taxing on her. However, she can replicate only the powers of mutants. That's it guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like and if you're new to this channel, leave a subscribe too. Thank you for watching, see you in next video.